Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lei Han. I'm from Rutgers University. And I'm not the author of this work, only on behalf of them to give a presentation. But I will try to make it clear. This work talks about time lag, conserved dynamics, dependence network structural learning. This work is from Du Sijin, Hong Haikun, and Song Guojie from Peking University. So I'm sorry I may not be able to answer questions, but I will try to make it clear. This presentation included 4 parts: introduction, problem description, a model, and experiments. And in real-life networks, the network structure and temporal dependency are not invariant, but tend to vary over both time and space. So recently, dynamic dependence network structural learning has attracted increasing attention in various domains, such as gene regulatory network discovery and traffic network analysis and climate data analysis, and so on. So managing the temporal dependence is one of the fundamental tasks in network structural learning. And time lags usually plays an essential role in dynamic dependence network. So taking the traffic network as an example, the traffic flow of one destination station in a current time interval is constructed by vehicles from related upstream or a region station several times ago. Thus, time lags are related with the vehicle speeds and the distance from the origin station to the destination stations. So our goal is to learn the time lag adaptively in the network structural learning process instead of treating it as a predefined constant or a fixed number. So moreover, we identified 2 major challenges. So first one is how fast the dynamic structures vary by time. And if we learn a structure from each single time point, the results would be redundant and the learning process would be computationally expensive. However, if the time series are first segmented and then one relationship is learned to each segment, it would suffer the scarcity of samples when the segment is short. And the second challenge is how to learn the dynamic time lags during the structure estimation process. And the uncertainty of the time lags increases the difficulty of the whole learning process. So here's our problem description. For example, we're given p nodes where the observed variables x1 to xp, and we aim to discover how the network structure varies by time. And in this paper, we assume that the network structures remain unchanged in a time period. And the lags of different variables probably are distinct. So for example, in the figure, the network structures are different in the first segment and the last segment. So in the first segment, for x2, both x1 and x3 are influential factors, and the lag is 1 and 2 respectively. However, in the last segment, only the x3 is the influential factor, and the lag is 1. So in this problem, we make some symbol notations, like we use epsilon as a vector of change points, and we use beta as a matrix of regression coefficients, and the L the matrix of the lags, and K is the number of segments. So then the objective function is as follows, listed here. So in the paper, we propose a method which learns the dynamic network structures with lag estimation. We decompose the problem of estimating the time-varying network structures into 2 procedures along different axes. The first procedure is to search the optimal change points along the time axis, and the second one is to estimate the network structures and the adaptive lags simultaneously along the axis of the variable site. So firstly, we assume that the number of change points k is sampled from a truncated Poisson distribution. And given k change points, we assume that the change point positions vector psi takes only non-overlapping and uniformly distributed integral values. And in this paper, we assume that the network structure of temporally adjacent segments are more similar than those of segments temporally far away. So according to this, we use the data from all of the segments with different weights as a training set to learn the network structure and adaptive lags for one segment. So when we estimate the network structure of the jth segment, the weights of other segments are defined as follows. And in order to control the sparsity of the regression coefficients, the beta, we use some spark and slab prior, which is a prior that puts a positive probability mass on values equal to 0 for the model coefficients for each variable. And we introduce a matrix D. It's a binary matrix. Each Dij indicates whether the beta ij is 0 or different from 0. So the perimeter Z is sampled from a multivariate Bernoulli distribution. And when D is known, the prior for beta is defined as a bottom equation. We assume that the maximum time delay of the effect period for all segments is t, and then the values of the L for each segment are both within the interval from 1 to t. And here we assume that the hyperperimeters L are sampled from uniform distributions, and hence the likelihood to estimate the network structure of one segment is given in the following equation. So this is the objective. And for the perimeter estimation, since all overall parameter space of the proposed time-varying network structures is a union of perimeter spaces of all segments defined by the key change points, the dimension of the perimeters for the model is unknown and can vary substantially. So moreover, the posterior probability is intractable to sample, and hence we propose a novel algorithm which incorporates the RJMCMC procedure and the expectation propagation procedure. And here is a overall algorithm. We follow the RJMCMC algorithm framework where the change points are selected by the RJMCMC procedure, and the intractable posterior probability can be approximated by some easy ones through the expectation propagation. So these are some algorithmic sketch. And last part is the experiment. We do both the synthetic experiments with the synthetic data and the real-world data sets. And for this synthetic data, we generated 10 networks with 7 nodes. And the length of the observation time series of each node is 500. And to simulate the changes in the network structure, we set 4 change points, except the beginning and the end points. Baselines we use for comparison include a static lasso grandeur model and time-varying dynamic Bayesian networks, and some non-homogeneous DBN networks. And the dynamic Bayesian model, with adaptive lags we propose is called the DBAL for short. We also compare with our simplified model which removes the time lag learning part. And here are some results. We first compare the learned model coefficients beta star of the network structure with the ground truth network structure, perimeter beta. And from the comparison on each column, the learned coefficient metrics are similar with the ground truth, which indicates that our model is able to discover the dynamic network structure. And then we compare the ground truth time lags with the time lags learned by our model. And the time lag varies by different variable dimensions and segments. Most of the elements in the residual matrix tends to be 0, which means that the time lags we learned are close to the ground truth. And we also use the F1 score to evaluate the performance in terms of network structural learning. And from the figure, we can see that the proposed DBAL model achieves the best performance among the competing methods. And besides, we also show the log likelihood varies over the iteration in network structural learning process of our model. And the log likelihood tends to converge at about the it is about 6,000 iterations. The next experiment is with the air quality data. And this air quality data is collected by 35 air quality monitoring stations and deployed in different sites, maybe some sites in city Beijing in China. And each air quality station measured the hourly air quality data, such as the PM 2.5 and some meteorological data, such as the wind and wind speed, something like that, during the period from the 2014 to 2015. And this figure shows the PM 2.5 level of number 3 station. And the change point learned by the proposed model partitions the PM 2.5 time series data into 2 segments. In the left segment, the air condition is seriously polluted by the PM 2.5, while the right segment shows the normal air quality condition status. And in both the left segment, the average wind speed level is low, and the corresponding PM 2.5 level is high. While in the right segment, the corresponding relationship reverse. The average wind speed level is high, and hence the PM 2.5 level is low. Okay, I'm finished as soon as possible. Okay, so this segment results are quite interpretable according to our domain knowledge. And then we also evaluate our method on a real-world traffic data, and also the change point learned by our proposed model matches the ground truth. So these are some results of our work. If you are interested with this paper, you can contact the author for more details. Okay, thank you so much.